All right, guys.
What's wrong with you, Juju?
We're not gonna we're not gonna be reading the comments right off the bat. So I'm gonna do this. Y'all were asking for daily devotion deals. Seeing how I'm always up around 5:30, 6 o'clock, we'll do them. I'm gonna set an alarm so that we can start doing the devotions every morning. We're still gonna do the wake and bake around 7:30, 8 o'clock, but we're gonna do a little 30, maybe 30 minutes or so on this. Um, for those of you that don't want to be a part of the daily devotion deals, we completely understand, but please make sure that you log in for the wake and bake. The daily devotion part, this video here, and any other ones will be between 5 and 6 o'clock. Um, I'll do a short video like we're doing now for daily devotion. The one we picked out for the day, for the um, for the scripture of the day, is Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean into your own understanding. In all the ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. Kind of self-explanatory, except for some of the lean not into your own understanding. That's something a lot of people misunderstand. And I've noticed that along with Pentecostal Apostolic Faith, those particular, and a lot of the Baptists and Catholics, just about all of them, but I know it runs a lot stronger in the Apostolic Pentecostal faith. But lean not to your own understanding is why they tell you that you shouldn't go by your own thoughts, and that's not what it means. That's not nowhere close to what it means. Lean not to your own understanding. In other words, listen to other people, and understand that everybody has their own ideas and their own thoughts on things. And you should listen to other people's thoughts and ideas, and that way you understand their ideas a little bit better, and it makes you stronger because you can understand your religion better, your faith, your spirit, whichever it is, whatever it is that you believe in. It makes you understand that a little bit better and in a better way. So, don't be quick to say you don't know what you're talking about and you're the devil. I'm not listening to you. Don't be so quick to say that. Stop and listen to them and understand their reasoning, or try to. You don't have to agree with them, but the more you listen to them, the more you learn. Um, and trust the Lord with all your heart. It's easy. You, what is that? Oh, they redid it. Oh, nice. For those of you that don't have a Bible, it's been put on for you. Thank you very much. Who did that?
Rachel.
Rachel. Thank you very much. But anyhow, it is what it says, but you got to understand it in a different way. Everybody understands religion completely different. And as long as you're willing to listen to someone else's opinion, someone else's idea, you can learn from that. And I believe, and that is my belief, that is my way of believing. I'm sorry if nobody agrees, but that's on you. I'm just telling you from my standpoint. I think that's what he means by lean not to your own understanding. He means for you to go out and seek better understanding from other people. I know the Bible also says to watch for the pastors, the evangelists, the ones that are speaking God's word, and make sure that that you're not falling under false information. So you need to watch what you're learning. Watch what people are telling you. But at the same time, listen to them and understand that they have a difference in opinion, and the reason is because they were raised up different. We're different. If we were all the same, it would be a really boring place because everybody would be doing the exact same thing. But if you notice, he says afterwards, he says at the very end of this verse, he says, and he will make your path straight. In all ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. So if you acknowledge God at all times, then you stay in a decent spirit with it. And you strive to be a good person, to do good things. And to help people when you can. And, you know, it makes you strive to do what you should do, to become a Christian, which the true definition of Christian is Christ-like. So, once again, is trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean to your own understanding, and in your ways in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Let it sink in. Think about it today, and you know, I'd like to see a little bit of feedback. Maybe if y'all message me, just message on this video, the messages afterwards. Message on there what you think it means to you, and that's also a good place to put any of your testimonies, or which I would love to hear. I don't know this, but every time I get into the Bible, I get really emotional with it. Sorry about that. That's just something you'll probably have to deal with. Anyway, well, that took 7 minutes. So I was planning on 30 minutes, so we're looking at a 23 minute worth of conversations from y'all. So what do y'all think? Let's start reading some of these. Realize a lot of okay, y'all are definitely in a conversation of your own. Okay. Almost every message has more than one meaning. You're right. They have the literal meaning, the cardinal meaning, and the physical meaning. Is it? No, it's literal, cardinal, and spiritual meaning. There's 3 meanings to every verse. What is it there? I need to go back over that one. I done forgot the way it says it in there. But anyway, there's 3. All right. All right, y'all are talking to each other still. Anybody have anything to talk about this, about the verse, or anything that you would like to share? I know you are talking amongst yourself, with the exception of I found one thank you, and great way to start my day. Other than that, I believe all of that is. So, good morning and praise the Lord. Yes, you're right. Good morning. And definitely praise the Lord at all times with all your heart.
Right.
Now, considering the fact that a lot of times I will sit down, smoke a joint, relax, and study in the Bible, I have nothing against weed, but out of respect for y'all, it's up to y'all. Do we smoke, or do we wait for wake and bake?
Wait for wake and bake.
Huh?
Wait for wake and bake.
Wait for wake and bake. Jeez almighty, I'm awake. I want to smoke. I always smoke when I'm awake. All right, I guess the queen says
Here,
no.
You need something to smoke.
I don't want a cigarette, but I do need to cut the string on. Anyway, so that was one of the first verses you learned as a child, really. I love Selena. She cracks me up. Probably because you told me I couldn't smoke. Morning, Tommy, Selena, and all. Yep, we have Dusty and Richard are here. Wait a minute. Whoever told me the cops was out here patrolling the area was looking for a Richard. Did they find you?
They flew.
I think they're looking for another Richard.
Then they ended up at Bunker Chris's, and then right there on the road by where Salvation Mountain is.
Yeah.
There was like 4 of them that were parked right there in that road with lights.
Oh, really?
Around everywhere.
Cops come out here, bug it out all the time.
And the helicopter was out too.
He must have been really tired. Cause I got woke up.
Grandfather
when the
was
generator died because
your grandpa
Lux and
was a
Tori
pastor?
were screaming back and forth at each other.
I was too. I don't like. I'm not ordained anymore. Except for ordained by God, I believe. Because He wouldn't call me to do what I do if I was. But as far as the world is concerned, no, I'm not ordained anymore. I haven't even set foot in the church in years. But I miss it sometimes, but then again, I don't miss all the judgment. I mean, you don't realize just how bad most Christians in churches judge people and nonstop. And when you sit back and you watch that day after day, you catch yourself, you're doing the same thing. You do what people are doing around you. That's why I have a strict rule about no GD in here. They say God, they better not say damn afterwards, because I'll catch your ass every time. And it's because of difference in ideas and stuff, but out of respect. But at the same time, all the ones that are in church that want to judge everybody, it's only because I believe it is completely wrong, and the more I hear it, the more I tend to accidentally say it myself. Which here lately I've had the bad thing, I keep saying damn it, and I don't like it. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound good, and I don't want to be saying things like that. So trust me, everybody knows already. If you hear me say it, correct me. I've never said anything about anybody else saying that. Just the GD I don't like, but about just saying damn it. But for some reason, I guess I'm hearing it so much that I'm saying it myself. It's not an excuse, but you get what I'm saying. That's the reason why you try to keep yourself away from some of that, There are 2 movements during the time of Jesus. Jesus was a peace and love type, and Cyrus was a military order, and that scared similar beliefs with Jesus, and military force as well. I totally get you. I am trying to cut out swearing altogether. Yeah, I would like to also, and it's not because I think it's wrong, because the Bible says to not curse, and they're taking that out of context. For one, the words shit, damn, fuck, all of them, they're not cursing. Cursing is wishing harm on someone. So if the word, if those words come out of your mouth, it's not, I don't think that it is a sin, because it's cursing. It's not cussing. Cussing is different than cursing. Cursing is wishing harm on someone, wishing harm on anyone, wishing bad things. Like you would typically think of a witch that curses people. But you can do it yourself. Any type of religion, they're all they all have their purposes that are close to each other, and so therefore, yeah, you can wish harm on somebody and things. You know what? I'm gonna go against popular demand. Anyway, That one there needs it. Richard. Really? Okay. Well. Anyway. Cussing and cursing is what it is. It is wishing harm on someone. So, but it also says that you should be, how is it, more reverend like and stuff. So, I could see how it would be wrong. And I try myself not to use any cuss words, but, I fail dramatically on that. I use quite a few, but regardless, it's not an excuse, but it's also not a unforgivable sin, and so I'm not emphasizing on that. I want to emphasize on the good things, and being a Christian for the words in itself. A Christian is Christ-like, and I try to think, what would God do in almost every situation I get myself in? And makes it really hard because he was so forgiving, and I try to be that way, and I get so upset and aggravated with people, and I shouldn't, but I do. That's one of my own little demons I'm trying to fight with. But it does. It makes me mad instead of humbles my heart. But it makes me mad because I look up and I see all this evil, mean, and hatred in the world, and then you sit back at your friends and watch it, and it's like, come on, man, you're smarter than this. Please, I mean, if you're not smarter than this, at least listen to me for a minute. But I don't know. There's not much you can do. It's like they say, you can't save them all, Hasselhoff. Romans 12:14. Bless those who pursue you. Bless those. Do not curse them. Bless and do not curse them. You're right. Bless them on me because they feel ladies. Do not cuss. Laugh out loud. Well, it probably shouldn't. It doesn't. It puts a bad look on everybody, not just women, but men too. And it doesn't look good. And the reason why it doesn't look good is because society has told us over and over again that these words are used in vulgar ways. And it's understandable, but we need to understand it from what it actually is. It's not cursing anyone, so, I mean, I personally don't think that it's a sin. But it is vulgar, so in that way, it's something you should not do. But it's one of those catch-22. It's kind of like Jesus made water into wine, and he said to give drink to the heavy-hearted, heavy-laden, and the ones that work hard and the ones that have a heavy heart, give drink to them. And it says to drink. Be merry, but not get stubborn drunk. So then you got to figure out what's that line. Where is that line between good and bad on that? Well, if you look at it from a standpoint, then anything over a few sips in a day can be considered over the line. Then again, maybe a 12-pack. You're not quite drunk, but I mean, you're not stubborn drunk. You might not be able to walk straight, but hey, you're not stubborn drunk. That might be the line for some people. The lines change with the people. Mine, I don't mind getting a little tipsy. I don't mind drinking a little bit, but as long as whatever you're doing, you do it with a spiritual heart and a mindful heart on what you're doing, you should be fine. And that's coming from one dumbass preacher that couldn't make it in the church. So you have to seek out your own idea on that one. So, anyway, that was 20 minutes. How are we going to do an hour devotion? I can't do an hour devotion. 30 minutes, yeah, but 20 minutes, or hour, no. Why can't I do an hour devotion? I can do it. I can do a 2-hour wake and bake. How many people? We got 13 people on here. I mean, shoot, find another verse.
It is already 8 degrees.
Now there's a good one. Forgot about this one. I remember reading this. Man, I did a sermon on this in the youth group. I remember that one. Wow, cool. Anyway, 1 John chapter 5, verses 14 through 15. This is the confidence which we have before him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us in whatever we ask, we know that we will have the request which we have asked from him. That falls in the category of belief and faith. You have enough faith in God. You know, with enough faith, you can move mountains. With the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. I don't know if anybody's ever seen a mustard seed. They're little bitty ones. But anyway, you know, that's you have faith in God that He will provide what you need, and you believe that with all your heart, then you won't ask for things that aren't needed. You'll ask for things that you need. Your desires, now, He's not going to give you everything you desire. You have to build it for yourself, but you know, everything you need is always provided for you from Him. With trust in God, it's always provided. I mean, I have an abundance amount of trust in God, and we're blessed. We are blessed beyond comprehension. You know, yeah, we have times that we need things. We need things now. You know, I mean, I had to ask all of y'all to help out just to get propane to run for a few days. You know, I mean, we're already 2 bottles down in the 5 or 4 bottles we had. So I mean, we're already halfway through it. You know, yeah, there's things that people need, or that people want. You know, but the things that they need, God finds a way to provide them. You know, a person doesn't have to have AC. They don't have to have. They don't even have to have a roof over your head. It's nice, but when you break it down to my favorite song, "The Basics of Life," you ought to hear it. You ought to listen to it if you haven't. But when you break everything down to the basics of life, literally, water, food. I mean, everything else is optional. Clothes, everything's optional. You don't need any of it. Water, food. Do you need something to live? That's it. And you need the heart and the strive to actually get out and live. A lot of people sitting at home not doing anything. They're not living. Sorry if that stepped on any toes, but it's the truth. You know, you got to get out and live life, have fun, enjoy yourself, be a good person, show people, lead by example. That's what I try my best to do. Which there's a lot of times that I kind of hope that I hope that people aren't following me at times, because my examples aren't the best at times. But you know, I try to lead by example. I try to tell everybody, what the way I feel about it, and everybody around here understands that, and you can actually, when you're on the outside watching in on them, you can see the change within the people that come around, and that's God. That's God at work, and it's very humbling for me because they don't even notice it. They don't even realize it. I see the change with them, and when I brought it up to them, and you don't know what you're talking about. I've always done it that way. No, I see it. I literally see it, and it's amazing. And they don't believe me half the time, so I just take it as a personal blessing. I get to see that, but when I don't got way off track. What was I talking about? Yeah, when you trust him. No, I wasn't off track after all. I thought it was the other verse popped in my head. But anyway, when you trust in God for everything, and you break everything down to the basics, and you realize that God does provide for you. He provides everything you need. The things that you want, some of it, yeah, he sees your desires, and he does reward you. He rewards us all the time. I'm very thankful that I've got my eyes open enough, and I'm spiritual enough to where I see it, and that's all I could hope and pray for everyone else. So, second verse for the day, 1 John chapter 5, verse 14 through 15. This is the confidence which we have before him, that if we ask anything according to his will, anything that he wants done according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us in whatever we ask, which you got to know that was taught to us when we were in preschool, all right, or Sunday school, not preschool, Sunday school. That was taught to you in Sunday school. He hears everything that you're asking for, whatever you ask, and as long as it's within his will, you'll get it. When you believe he'll give it to you, he'll give it to you. He'll make a way, one way or another. We know that we have the request. We have the request which we have asked from him. And that works also in prayer. When you're praying for someone else, when you're praying for, especially when you're praying for someone else, because that is a selfless act. When you're praying for things that you want, things that you say you need, I need a brand new car. I need a brand new truck. You don't need none of it. You don't have to have that. Those are all luxuries. They're all, trust me, I would love to get me a truck. I've actually got plans of getting one. Let's be honest about it. I don't have to have it. I got feet. God gave me 2 good working legs that are connected to padded feet. They might hurt like hell, but I can get where I need to go. Do we need a camper? No, we've proved that. We've stayed under the stars I don't know how many times, and we started out in a tent. So, yeah, you don't need that. You don't need campers. You don't need the house. You don't need any of that. Those are all things that you want. I trust me, I want a camper. I want the AC. I want a truck. I want all these little things. But they're just worldly desires. Let's face it. We need water. We need food. We need spiritual healing. we need to be fed spiritually, and we need health. We need knowledge. We need understanding. We need things like that. That's what we need. And most of all, yes, and definitely love. You need love. And that is most of all, most of all, you need to know your maker. You need to know you need Jesus. They were saying y'all need Jesus. And with that comes the love. Because when you have Jesus, you have love. That is what a true Christian is Christ-like. And that's what Jesus stood for. Any person that can be ridiculed, beat, bludgeoningly hit with objects, and nailed to a tree, and had the power to stop it at any time, but did that to save us, is the ultimate display of love that anybody could ever see or understand. Just think about that for a minute. If you had the power to call down 10,000 angels and stop these big soldier-looking people and all these people that you love very much, and all you're there for is to try to save them, and you could call down them angels to come down and stop them from killing you, how many of us would actually call them down? Now think about that. Would you have called the angels down to stop it? If it was you under that kind of torture by the very people that you loved, would you? It's hard to think about. Sorry, y'all get me. Anyway. I've only been like that for the last several years. When I used to preach, I never choked up. I never choked up because it was an understanding, not a belief. I understood it, and I understood it very, very well, but I was not that close in touch with God. So it was an understanding, not a belief. And I think that's why I get so emotional. Because I've literally witnessed God's hand at work. I have seen, and even here, since we've been here, I prayed through with one of my best friends right here at the end of the pathway. I made a new friend that will be a friend till the day I die with Sean when I baptized him out here. I have watched God work in many people here. I have seen what the power of God can do just here with people. With this camp. I pray day in and day out that we make our goal. And even though we've come a long ways in the 8 months that we've been here, 9 months that we've been here. Are you Mormon? Tell me you can baptize. No, I'm not Mormon. I'm not any denomination, really. I've gotten away from denominations because they were full of other people's interpretations of what they understand from the Bible. And if everybody in the church had it so right, and they were the true Christians, Christ-like, which is the definition of Christians. I've said that a million times. I'll say it a million more times. But if everybody there had it right, and they were all sanctified and going to heaven and all that, then it kind of really puts a damper on what I think and what I believe, because that makes Christ look to be a very judgmental person, and that's not the God I serve. I mean, you think about it. A person is supposed to strive to be Christ-like, and if the church, the whole church, even the pastor, can walk up to a person and tell them that they're not dressed appropriate for the church, or that, you know how that goes. They meet you at the door and try to save you before you come into God's house. We love everybody, but only if they're like us. No, you should love everyone. I mean, you should love everyone. I watched a video the other day, and it was a brilliant video. I don't give very many preachers props, but this guy, this guy was brilliant. It was done in Nigeria, I believe. But the preacher, the day before church, or the day of church, the day of evening service, that morning, he dressed up as a homeless guy on the street, rags, everything. He dressed up like a homeless guy and sat on the steps of the church, and nobody recognized him. Nobody paid him any attention. Nobody so much as dropped a few quarters to him so he could go and get a cup of coffee. Nothing. They walked right by him to walk into God's house and worship God and to be a Christian. And I'm sorry, but if Jesus was here and was walking to that church, he would have stopped and brought that man in with him. Anyway, the guy did that all day. And as the church congregated, he stayed out there. He was the last one to come in. And when he came in, he walked in and he walked up to the podium. And they literally drug him off of the podium. He had to break loose and go back up there. And when they heard that familiar voice and understood that it was him, they thought, oh my God, you tricked me. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, look. Your whole congregation was extremely judgmental. They all stood there while they were trying to take a homeless man off of the pulpit because he looked like, why not go up there and pray for him? But that man showed his whole congregation where they were going wrong, and also showed everybody in the videos. I don't know if y'all seen what I seen, but wow. That was awesome. It was great. They need a little more of that, Christians, they need a wake-up call. They really do. They're going to get a wake-up call, and I'm afraid it's going to be too late. But you stop and think about it. You go to church day in and day out. You listen to that preacher guy, which is up there at the pulpit, which I've actually been in churches where they'll take the offering before they preach the sermon. And I've been to a church several times like that, and it's almost like they preach according to what the offering was. Because we got a really good message today. I put a $20 bill in the plate. Seriously, I put a $20 bill in the plate, and we got a really good message that day. The money made a difference, and I did it for my own thought on the matter. And that happens in churches so much. Even the preacher is worried about what he can get out of it. It's like this. Everybody keeps asking, well, you need this, you need that. Why aren't you asking for it? I am asking for it. I ask God for everything I need, everything I think I need, everything I want. I ask him for it. It's just a matter of when people feel led to to do that, and that's when God tells you, hey, well, this guy needs this, or well, that guy needs that. That's why y'all were asking us to do an Amazon thing, and all I'm looking at is I'm looking at things that benefit the whole camp, you know, and y'all are telling us things for personal use, and I'm like, I don't know. I try to share everything I've got. You know, I mean, we were blessed beyond comprehension with all kinds of donations, and they are out here for everybody to enjoy, which they've been enjoying it. We kind of left the camp a mess, but I think that a lot of that's my son, which we're going to have to remedy that. But nevertheless, you know, I mean, we've got lots of nice things that were donated to us, but I try to share with everyone. And, you know, you get into these churches, what I'm saying though is, and they think for themselves. They have people in their churches that are walking a mile or two to come and listen to these preachers that are taking all these donations and buying brand new souped up cars and, you know, these nice, huge, brand new $20,000 vehicles, and they're driving around on this, and they're driving around on the people in the church's pocketbook, and they're doing the exact same thing that you should be teaching people not to be doing, and that is judging people. Literally, I think I've told a few people the story. It's kind of partially the reason why I got out of church. I was a youth minister at the time, and to make extra money, I was roofing houses. That's an odd place to get a pimple. I was roofing houses, and I love to hear choir music. You know, choirs singing, especially upbeat choirs. And this church was an it was a very, very good church. It was more colorful church, I guess is a more polite way of putting it, but it was primarily all black, and they have some of the best music ever. I don't know, but God really put good voice on especially the older black ladies that bellow out in the choirs and stuff. I love listening to that. But any which way, I was across the street putting shingles on a house. No, I was ripping shingles off of the house, getting ready to put shingles on. And I was in a pair of cutoff shorts. Back then, those were in style. It was okay for guys to wear stuff like that. But anyway, I had cutoff shorts. I had a tank top or a muscle shirt or white beater or whatever you want to call them. You know the type. I didn't have my shirt on, but I was respectful enough. I at least put my shirt on. But I was going into that church. That pastor or deacon or whoever he was, he got a piece of my mind after that one. He was all too anxious for me to leave when that happened. But anyway, he come down from the pulpit and met me before I made it to the second pew, and commenced to telling me that I wasn't dressed appropriate to be in the church. For one, you're having choir practice. You're not even having church. And for two, how could you tell me I'm not dressed appropriate? How do you know that this ain't all I have to wear? You want to turn me away from God's house because I'm wearing a pair of shorts and cut off shirt? No. Anyway, and me and him went round and round about that. I told him about being judgmental, and I told him exactly where I personally think he's going to end up acting that way. He didn't like that idea too much. And from what I noticed, several of the people that were in the choir that witnessed the thing, by their facial expressions, I think it kind of rung a bell with them. You know, they got a different understanding of what Christian means and Christ-like. Yeah, which was great, but kind of the reason why I just veered away from church. That same day, where did that come from?
Well, I'm ready to get started on our garden.
Oh, wow. We're ready to get started on the little garden.
We have a pitchfork, we have a shovel, and
We got the pitchfork and the... Anyway, what was I saying? But anyway, you know, that happens so many times to so many people, and it happens to every one of us. And I'm sure several of y'all are guilty of it too. I've done it myself, many, many, many times. But you see somebody that just looks like something's wrong with them, or looks like they're not right in the head, or you know, um, maybe they're trapped in the upper room. I don't know. However you want to look at it, but you run into these people every day on the sidewalk begging for change, or in the office, standing by the water cooler just creeping people out, or whatever it is. You see them all the time, and you kind of veer away from them and walk off. And it defeats the purpose of the verse that's in the Bible. It says to preach to every living creature, is even so much as the ant that crawls on the ground, I am a guilty sinner, but I know God and God knows me. And you're right. That's the way it should be. And with that, you should know that it's kind of like when you're a kid and you're doing something wrong. You get corrected, but you learn from it and you try not to do it again. As long as you're learning from whatever sins that pop up, then you're okay. You should be fine. We serve a very loving and merciful God. At least wise I know I do. Hopefully striving not to be the sinner. None of us will ever be perfect, but as long as we are always constantly putting ourselves in check, I think we'll be all right. You're right. That's what we need to do. We need, every time we realize that we're doing something that might not be quite right, put yourself in check. Seriously, put yourself in check. Do that. It is a learning experience. That's for sure. When you're able to put yourself in check and learn from it, I did. When I first got here, and I strive not to judge people. When I first got here, I started judging all the guys in skirts, and that's what led me to feeling very, very bad about it, and deciding that I wanted to understand it a little bit more, to understand why it is. And that's when I found out that, like everybody else, they think, well, you're wearing a skirt, you're queer, and you're going to hell, and that's not the case. It's all a difference in opinions and in things, but I had to teach myself a lesson on that one. I didn't even give God a chance to do it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna punish myself, and that's when I started. And that when I started wearing the skirts, and it didn't take very long to figure out exactly why they all wear the skirts, and I understand it completely. I have no problem with it. Let people judge me for it. I don't care. I'm 120% straight, and I'm a good person, and I like to keep my stuff cool. There's a little humor in it, but hey, it is what it is.
All that matters, I like the skirt.
She likes the skirt, so I don't guess it really matters if everybody else does. Speaking of which, if you like the skirt so much, why don't you get one clean? I haven't had one in like.
I washed one of your skirts.
Oh, did you?
And you're about to get socked upside
There's
the head.
a church here. You can dress anyway.
Baby, my battery's dead.
That's what Jesus was for, because God was going to take us out. Yeah, that's what Jesus was there for, because God was going to take us out. Yeah, He come here to save us. We would have already been taken out. Do I wear skirts now? Yes, when they're clean, and when it's really hot, they're really nice. I mean, right now it's nice out, so I mean, regular pair of shorts is more than fine. But Yeah, I do. I have let's see, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them. A couple of them I won't wear very often, but one of which I wear that one all the time. Answered that quick and amen. No, what do you mean I answered that quick? Answered the church here, you can dress how you want anyway. What church here? What because matter of fact, it was the funniest thing, man. There's a church here. I'm not gonna name names or anything else. I'm just gonna explain the I still wear cutoff shorts.
Yeah.
I think that style played out, dude.
No,
Sorry,
my uncle
but
still wore.
anyway.
He cut his Wranglers. He'd
Huh?
always he only wore Wranglers and boots, so his cutoff shorts were Wranglers. I bet you. He
Anyway.
still got, yeah.
This guy from the Grace Church, is that around here? Seriously? It's not the church up here in Island, is it?
I don't think so. The Grace.
I'm wearing cutoff shorts. Yeah, but you're a woman. That's okay.
Allowed. We can. Pull
Yeah,
that crap
Southern
off.
Comfort. Yeah, I did not know that was a woman at first because I thought she was making. I thought it was a guy because it's a picture of
Willie Nelson or
not Willie Nelson,
Willie-
John Wayne.
Well, yeah.
Or- Yeah. Anyway, it was a picture, so I thought it was a guy. Southern Comfort and John Wayne picture. You know, I thought it was a guy, and it kept flirting.
With heaven. There ain't nothing wrong
Wait a
with
minute.
that.
No, I'm a man. It was my wife. Okay, now I'm really confused. Anyway, it's Hank Williams. Oh, is it? Yeah, it's Hank Williams. Now I can see it up close. And
Maybe I have enough solar to power up my.
maybe it wasn't
computer.
me.
You think you have enough solar to power the computer up?
No, the solar went out on us last night. I don't know why. I got a loose connection. I got something. The solar's not keeping up with it. I can't wait to get our new generator because, you know, when you're using other people's generators, yeah. Me, I would run the AC all night to where I wasn't waking up in a ring of sweat, and I would run it so that people could have fans around that had fans. And I've really got to get this other air conditioner going in this other camper because it's
enough
wearing
to
Richard
fool.
out. But you know, it's not my generator, so when they shut it off at midnight or whatever, there's not much I can do about it. But
Wait,
I
the
guess
battery? No, the battery pack ain't gonna work for this.
yeah, the battery pack won't work for this. This is not gonna work unless the generator's on. I gotta power it up by the generator.
Lewis's.
Or the solar system, but that went down. I don't know. Did you turn the light on when you come in last night?
No.
Did you mess with anything over there? No batteries or nothing?
No.
We need to. There's shit that needs to be done today.
Well, I'm bringing cutoffs back. All right, more power to you. I don't think I have any cutoffs, so I couldn't join in the fun.
Watch them quail all morning long out there.
But they're cutoffs, so I've got jeans. I can make cutoffs.
No.
Sometimes I amaze myself with how stupid I could be. I just thought about that. I ain't got no cutoffs, so I can't join the party on that one. I got scissors. I got pants. I just don't have the desire to wear the cutoffs, so we'll just leave it at that.
They have to go to the knee. Go down to the knee, no further. I've seen guys cut them things off into like booty shorts. That's it.
And tank tops cut down the sides.
That's not attractive, guys. Women are the one that wears booty shorts.
Didn't go all the way.
Look at them quail. They've been out there all morning.
Yeah, no, we got a lot of quail out there today.
Yeah. My bunnies. I need to cut up them melons and feed them to my bunnies out there. Well, that saddens me.
Should have had that on the charge last night.
I did until the generator got turned off.
If that was on the charge, that's why my battery.
No.
Well, because I have shirts. Have shirts. Oh
No,
no.
no,
No, no,
no.
no, 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 no. I actually have a picture of me
Yeah.
when I was a kid wearing one of those fishnet half shirts.
I've seen that. It's
Wearing or holding the remote control car up next to my dad's paint van.
yeah. So
That is an
when you're a kid.
embarrassing picture.
No, kids back in the day, like 70s, that's what.
Yeah,
they
and
wore.
I had one of them straw hats that had Bon Jovi on it that you get from the carnivals. You used to get from the carnivals back then. Have shirts were in the 80s too. Yeah, they had to have been in the 80s. I was
Yeah,
born
we
in
were
78.
78,
And
79,
I
yeah.
remember as a, let's see, my dad was still alive, so I was 8 or 9. Yeah, so it was in the 80s.
Yeah. it was.
That and them stupid parachute pants.
Oh my God, my cousin Margaret.
That
wore
and when
those
you,
all
that
the
and
time.
your jeans. We used to take the pant leg of the jean and you fold it over once and then you roll it up
roll
real
it up.
tight
Yeah.
to where it's like skinny jeans.
Mhm.
Yeah, hammer time. I've seen that just in the corner of my eye by the time I looked over that way.
My cousin still would wear those.
But see, nowadays, and it's people being judgmental. But nowadays, the style has changed. So,
Show as much skin as possible.
when a man wears something that he would have worn in the 80s, and he wears it today, then usually just,
You're bringing sexy back.
yeah, everybody looks at you all messed up and everybody's like, oh my God, what is wrong with this guy? He's like stuck in the 80s. So what?
The 80s was good for him.
The 80s? Hey, I love the 80s. That was my childhood. I wish I could go back to it. Seriously.
Yeah.
Childhood's always better than adulthood. Unless you're living under a tree, then you're living your childhood in your adulthood. That's pretty cool. I think that's why I like it under here so much. What do you miss about Louisiana? Well, nature. I don't know. I love Louisiana, but I don't know. I miss a lot of things about Louisiana, but mainly the food. Jambalayas, the crawfish, the shrimp, the way that everybody cooks there. I think that'd have to be about what I miss the most.
Yeah, we'll talk like
You
that.
don't get good food like that here. I wish it was close enough. To go and get like a big 50-pound bag of crawfish or something. Have a big crawfish boil or something. Hospitality. Hospitality. Yeah. I couldn't say it. I love the hospitality. Yeah, there are a lot of overly nice people down there. But then again, there's a lot of people that you really don't want to be around either, But I will cook crawfish today in your honor.
No.
Nice. Where are you from in Louisiana? I was born in Baton Rouge, raised up around Gonzales, Prairieville area. Lived down by Houma and Thibodaux. Matter of fact, my grandmother owns A to B Taxi in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Very unique woman. Tried to work for her once. She fired me. I love my grandma to death. I love her from a distance. Anyway, she has A to B Taxi in Thibodaux, Louisiana. My Uncle Gene, he owned Rebel Amusements, which is a carnival show, which is based out of Houma, Louisiana. I lived up in Denham Springs, Walker. I have a sister that lives in Walker right now. my most recent trip there, I lived in Gonzales for a while, and then I moved to Springfield. Yeah. Been all over. Huh? Just Jana. You know that picture looks familiar. I think you sent me a friend's request. Didn't it? I don't know. Anyway. Good morning, American Prospect. Did you find folks here judgmental, Tommy? You mean here in the slabs, or here in California? Yes and no. Not really as much as I thought I would. Not in the chat. No, never in the chat. Y'all are always pretty good here. But yeah, here not as much as I would have thought, but at the same time I've seen judgment come from someone that I wasn't expecting it from. I've seen that a few times. You mean in Louisiana? I didn't. There's a lot of judgment and judgmental people there in Louisiana. But a lot of them is the upper Louisiana with the churches. The closer you get to the Bible Belt, the worse it gets with judgmental people. Like in Oklahoma.
Fixes thing. You don't want to live in McAllister.
You don't like judgmental people. You don't want to live there in McAllister. Not where we lived. I mean, it's just no matter what you do, they got something to say about it. And
any good, you're never doing.
And honestly, I have never felt that far from God ever since, you know, from being there. Not the last time I was there, but the 15 years I stayed there, I'm more distant from God than anywhere else.
You got other drives. You got the drive of money.
Yeah, yeah, I was sucked into life the way most people expect life to be, you know, sucked into the real good paying job, making a lot of money, having your own business, and having four-wheelers and go-karts and dirt bikes and trucks and horses and everything. You know, money was about everything. And I've noticed the further I got with that, the further I got away from God. So, you know, the more that you're blessed, don't let it become a curse. The more that you are blessed and the more that you have is the more that you should enjoy with others and the more that you should share. I'm not trying to tell you to take all your hard-earned money and just give it away. I'm trying to tell you that find happiness with it, not happiness that money can buy. Happiness that you can do with any amount of money, with any amount of thoughts, with any amount of soul. You know, like me, I asked for money on the one thing, but it was to feed the homeless. You know, y'all could have given me 4 times that much money. If I'd have put it in my pocket, I would have never felt as good as I did about what we did. You know, what we did was I felt extremely rich coming away from that. That was a blessing beyond blessings, and everyone that shared in that will receive their own blessing from it. And me, all I was doing was the legwork. All I did was do the physical labor of it. You know, it was y'all that donated and made it happen. All we did was put it together and done what God told us to do. And, you know, we received a blessing beyond comprehension. So, you know, the money that y'all sent in for that, and for anything that we do, really. But every bit of money that y'all sent in for that really went to bless us beyond comprehension, and we didn't get anything out of it except for, well, I think we did buy us something to drink and some bologna and bread, I believe, because we were hungry
That was Social
that day.
Security.
But other, huh?
That $160.
It worked?
No, I'm supposed to get 500 and something today, but that
Huh.
$160, she said everybody gets $160.72 when they move. From
Yeah,
someplace
yeah.
else, and that's a separate.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I
We
didn't
got that
know
on
what it was.
Bubba's.
I didn't even know how it was going to be split
Oh,
or
okay.
anything. So I'm
Yeah,
supposed to
so-
get like 520 something.
Right.
And then,
But anyway, like I was saying, you know, the blessings when you do good for
usually
others,
that's around
when you do
12:30
things
a lot of
for
times,
other people.
then-
And we made the hour mark. I
then
figured
next
out. I
week
just
was
had to
on-
get deep deep spiritually in it, and I could make it the hour.
Yeah.
See, I don't, you know, it's not like a church or whatever. You got time to practice a sermon. You got time to practice everything. I don't practice anything. Pick it up and I'll read what.
Get out of the trash.
Ah, dog out.
Get out of here!
They went out. All three of them went out the back door.
All three of them went out.
Yeah.
Man, this ain't your house. Ain't your house. Go on.
They're over there at the end of the other feet.
Oh shit. Anyway, that's why I like you. Well, thank you. I like me too, and you. Anyway, what was that? Well, we'll save it all for another day. We can get into more of that. We're at the hour mark, and it is 7:00. So we only got an hour or two before we do wake and bake. So I'm gonna get off of here so we can figure out what we're doing today and hang out and try to figure out what we about charging some things. I gotta work on the solar a little bit. Something messed up. I don't know what happened, but batteries ain't got any power, so there's a short somewhere.
Sorry.
But anyway, you just got here. I'm sorry. You missed the whole. This ain't wake and bake. Wake and bake. We're gonna do wake and bake somewhere around 8:30 or whatever. Can I ask you something? Sure. Yes. Love all y'all later. Love you too, buddy. Go ahead and ask me. I'm waiting on you. Bye, bye, Mary. Bye, Cajun. Did I go and feed the homeless in San Diego because you were told it was illegal? No, actually, I'm just curious, no judgment. No, actually, what had happened was somebody had offered to donate us a bunch of stuff, as where we got, you know, a bunch of tools and everything else, but we had to go to San Diego to do it. The guy paid for the diesel in the truck or in the bus and everything, so we were going up there, and we figured we were going to go up, and it's me. I wanted to, we come up with the idea to go and feed the homeless. It was afterwards that we found out it was illegal, and yes, that put a fire under me and really pissed me off. And then I decided, oh, definitely, there's nothing fixing to stop me do this, because, you know, but it wasn't because it was illegal.
It just
You know, it was
increased your
actually, it was,
determination. It just increased your
yeah, it
determination.
definitely increased my determination for it, because at that point I was like, yeah, go ahead. I dare you. Put me in jail for being what y'all consider homeless and feeding the homeless. I would have probably had a field day with that, and the cops would have had a lot more than they could handle. I would have been pretty pissed. But no, I did not. I did not do that because it was illegal. I did it. I felt led to do it. It was afterwards that I had found out about it being illegal, and that pissed me off, and that did send a strive. How is it illegal to feed homeless? You might want to check with the people in San Diego. From what I understand, they don't really do anything to you or anything about it, but I did find out that yes, it is illegal, and they will try to stop you if you do it on a really big scale. Sometimes when someone does something good, others want to discredit it, and I just know. Yeah, I know, and everything that's going on, they're trying to discredit everything. Yeah, like Skittle said, Jesus told me to do it. He did. I mean, it come to. I don't even know how the subject got brought up, but it got brought up, and I was like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, we go feed the homeless. That's great. That's what I'd try to do here. You know, that originally this was just supposed to be in a place where people can come in and we can cook a big meal for them. You know, and they can sit and hang out and stuff. But you know, and it's morphed into what it is now. But yeah, it's illegal because they don't want them gathering. You know, but instead of making a law to where it's illegal, and give them their own place, give them their own area, section off a piece of town, and tell them, hey, here you go. You can build whatever you need to build, whatever to live. Yeah, so the non-homeless can have a better time. They. Okay, well, if the homeless are ugly and they're sitting on the side of the street, they're ugly because of the clothes, and that's what offends you, then give them some new clothes. If them sleeping on the street because they have nowhere else to sleep, then get whatever that is that's messing with me. Then by God, put them up in a motel for a night. Give them a tent. Give them if they're if they're bothering you because they're sitting on the side of the road watching you eat your Subway sandwich, and they're sitting there hungry and haven't eaten in a day or so, give them the other half of the sandwich. I mean, come on, people. Don't make a law to where it's illegal to eat. Okay, you can't talk or you can't associate with these people. That's our way of getting them out of here. That's just messed up. Yeah, it's a misdemeanor offense, but nevertheless, it should not be a law against feeding homeless. There should not be anything against that. That is messed up. Yeah, just like Cajun just said, it's messed up. That's probably why I said it, because I just looked over and seen that. I'm eating Subway right now. Well, I'm sorry. If you feel compelled to, then maybe find a closest homeless person and give them the other half of your sandwich. But if you don't, then eat the other half of your sandwich and know that your intentions were in the right spot. Homeless won't accept the help they need. A lot of them want to live that way. And yes, they do. And that's unfortunate, but kind of makes me wonder and want to go and talk to them and ask them, why do you want to live that way? Why is that? And I have asked people around here, why do they live here like this? Why did we come to live here like this? It's because of the politics of government and cities and stuff, and all of the, it's just, I don't know. There's a lot involved in it. It's just, I understand people that don't want to live in society, but I don't really understand why they would stay in a city dwellings. I couldn't do that, but nevertheless, they are all still God's creatures. And no matter what they decide and whether we like or dislike their decisions, or whether they want to be energetic people that are good a good asset to the community, or whether they want to be somebody that is a drain on a community, whatever they're wanting to be, there's a reason behind that, and that may be what we're trying to minister to. They're all God's creatures, and they're not wrong for the way they want to live life. We're wrong for judging them for that. mean, me personally, where we were there in San Diego, I would stay for a couple of weeks. I'd stay a month out there on that beach. Wouldn't bother me not a bit. I would love to. You know, it's beautiful. But you can't have judgment in your heart. Otherwise, you'll never truly understand anybody and what they're wanting and what they need, or what they're doing anything for. If you don't have love and understanding in your heart, just think about it. Anyway, love you guys. God bless. I need to get off here. She's tapping her toes over here, so we probably got projects. Just picking. Oh my God, she's gonna throw something at me. Love you guys. Later. God bless.